Greetings, fellow humans, and welcome to the first official chatty time with JD Estrada. This is Twin Peaks Tea, and it is directly from the Black Lodge. Um, Hopefully, it's not too bad. No, this is actually something that I picked up from Target a while back. It's a cherry blossom tea, and it's very nice. But that's not why we're here. We're here because this is the first show, and for the first show, I had to have my brother from another mother. This always confuses me. It's like I have to point.
Yeah,
Always, never gonna get used to this shit.
yeah, no, it's tough. It's
So,
weird.
so I
Hello.
wanted to bring Joe. I wanted to chat. Miss Anita Stewart is always.
Yay! Hi, Anita.
Anita is borderline omniscient. You are way too proficient, way too awesome. I don't know if there's anything that needs to get done. I know that you can do it. Anywho, Joe Compton's a good friend. I was trying to figure out where did we meet and where did we connect, and I can't figure it out for the life of me. But we can dig
Good
into
question.
that soon. This
Yeah.
is Joe Compton. He is the runner of Go Indie Now because it's always time to go indie now. I've been contributing to Go Indie Now in video and written form for a couple of years. I've met some of my best friends and author friends. It's not just author friends. These people have become family thanks to Joe. I wanted him to be the first because we've done so many things together. Mom loved him like an extra son. So, by the way, he's also an indie author. He sucks at this. So let's give him some promotion. Mr. Joe Compton, author of Amongst the Killing.
Thank you, sir.
Joe, tell us who you are.
Well, you did a pretty good job there.
Well, there's more to talk about. Come on.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, I'm Joe Compton. I'm an independent author. As you saw, that was the first book I made, and then I have a second book out called "We the Moral Majority." Uh, I uh, I've been an independent filmmaker. I've made a few shorts, worked on some stuff, been in the movie business, and then I created Go Indie Now, which has been up and running, and we're headed into our fall season, which I'm real excited about. And yeah, it's a platform in which we support and highlight and to talk about indie artists and the indie art that they create. So that's me. I'm a Sagittarius. Uh, I'm not so keen on walks on the beach, but I like laying on the beach, sleeping on the beach. That's pretty cool. I like
and with
that.
and with beer, come on.
Yeah, totally. And a bonfire. I'm down for a good bonfire. I love the smell of a good bonfire.
I dig it.
So
By the way, let me open a window because StreamYard is doing me dirty and it's not necessarily connecting me to the comments that people are leaving on Facebook because I don't know why. Do I have to pay even more? I don't know. So yeah. Cristina Cristina Herrera, a good friend of mine from Puerto Rico. Hello to you. I can't show your comment because it's not cooperating. I do not know why. Anywho, so something else that I wanted to cover for this first foray and to show what this show or these chats are going to be about. It's going to be a bit about everything. Something that I've been doing a couple of years is reviewing indie music and indie video games. I have a passion for both. I think I have way more knowledge in music than video games, just because I don't play Xbox and I don't. The last PlayStation I played was PlayStation 3. So something that I love doing is sharing music with people, and I love sharing music from around the world or from different places and random places. The more random, the better. Quite often, and the latest that I found is a band called Lost Satellite. They're from Seville, Spain. A lovely, lovely band. Um, I have some thoughts on them, but I wanted to see what you thought about them, and then I want to bounce my ideas off you to see what you think.
so they have what, like an EP and an LP kind of idea, or is it just like an EP? But they have like 10, 15 songs that I was able to find, and uh, I I dig it. I'm a fan of this style of music, so I think that helps a lot when you're dealing with a band like this. I was trying to come up with an idea of what they sound like, and they're kind of an amalgamation of everything you loved about the '90s, right? Like REM, they've got a little bit of REM, they've got a little bit of live in them. I'm a big fan of live, and I'm a big fan of live's deeper catalog, not the Throwing Copper live. That
Come on, it's a good album. Don't
it's a good album. No, don't get me wrong,
I
but
don't like Ed Kowalczyk, but
it's a commercial. It's a commercial, a play that was mostly, but most of their deeper more indie stuff is really good, and they reminded me a lot of that. They have a little bit of like Silverchair in them when they get a little heavier, and a little bit more of they don't have that Pearl Jammy sound. They don't have that Soundgarden sound, but they have something like kind of in the middle, maybe like a harder edged Goo Goo Dolls kind of idea, maybe a little bit. But I really think like REM, there's one song in particular where it's like that is like they must be ripping off REM at that point. But yeah, they're really amalgamation of '90s indie rock for sure.
For me, it would be Seattle rock passed through a California filter. Because it's not dark and dreary like Seattle rock, but it's good, it's solid. I was going to mention Silverchair, but latter day Silverchair, particularly Diorama and Straight Lines. There's also a little bit of that album, and there's actually one band that I'm almost certain that you've never heard of. It's called Three Fish. Have you ever heard of that band?
No.
Three Fish is actually my favorite side project from any person that's been on Pearl Jam, with the exception of Temple of the Dog, which was actually a Chris Cornell project with the entire Pearl Jam band.
Yeah, I mean, didn't Vedder really just come on because they didn't have somebody to sing, basically?
No. Temple of the Dog was a Chris joint, full on, and then this whole Seattle scene was happening, and Chris met Eddie. They clicked off really, really good. He was in the studio, and so it's like, dude, step on here. And Chris had some ideas of what he wanted Eddie to sing. They never got to talk. Eddie just sang. He was like, that's better. And if you listen to Hunger Strike, it's by and large, it's one of the best '90s songs ever. So Three Fish, it's psychedelic rock with Jeff Ament and Robbie Robb, or I forget the name of the.
Is it a play on Dr. Seuss? One fish, two fish, three fish?
No, but there was a lot of drugs apparently involved, because if not,
I would imagine
the lead singer in that outfit, it's like there's literally their first album. There's one song called One Fish, and then they go on this Buddhist mantra and whatnot while playing music, and it's like, wow, dude, that ayahuasca was fabulous.
Yeah, that's funny.
Hey, wait. Well, sorry. Come on. That was super smooth. I was trying to do this. Yes, someone did say Seattle.
Yes.
Hello, Marisa. Hello, Mr. Mango. Hello, everyone. I bring up that band because the tone of that singer, if you combine the tone of that singer with Daniel Johns from Silverchair, that's pretty much what the lead singer from Lost Satellite sounds like to me. It's super mellow. It's shoegaze meets stargaze rock. It's not something to put if you need to speed. It's something to put if you need to chill. It's really cool. The first time that I heard them, I was like, man, that guitar reminds me of someone. Then I'm like, okay. When I see the track featuring Alan Johannes, I'm like, obviously, if you've never heard of Alan Johannes, but you love Queens of the Stone Age, then you have heard of Alan Johannes. You just didn't know you did. Look up the liner notes for Rated R and for the original Queens of the Stone Age album. Alan Johannes is a producer. He's a very lovely guy, by the way. His solo work is also super impressive. He was actually married to Natasha Snyder, who was a keyboardist. And I bring her up because I like connecting random stuff. And I actually based the character off Natasha in Given to Fly
Nice.
because I like keeping things random. So this is super 90s, super mellow.
Yeah, I was gonna say it doesn't have many like hooky tracks where you would like be singing the chorus or anything like that. They're very orchestrated in a way that is like you can put it on and just let it play and listen to it. It's not it's not one of those where you stop and go, oh, I have to sing the chorus to this song. I mean, they have some hooky stuff, but it's not the stuff that I gravitated towards. The album stuff that they have is really just, I mean, it's just background music that is just soothing and well defined, and you feel good listening to it. So even though a lot of it's probably very very dark and moody in a lot of sense, there's a couple of songs in there that I go, I wonder what he was doing during that time. But
I'm not sure, but I also wanted to review that band because, like me, their first language is not English. Their first language
yeah,
is Spanish. They're from Seville and from areas around that. The music scene over there is very different, and
mhm,
people over there are very different in terms of a lot of things. You listen to this album, and it's not like they're not out to conquer their world. They're out to make music that they enjoy listening to. The only thing that I would ask for is a bit more variety in terms of range, because that's the my only caveat is I enjoy the album. I can hear it, A to Z, and I can hear it on a repeat 2 or 3 times. That's a pretty solid album. If you're driving or doing something, and it's something that you can queue up, but at some point you go like, just wish a little more things to break it, maybe a little bit more energy. Beyond that little tidbit, man, here's the link is in the chat. It's probably in the descriptive, or I really hope it is. If not, I'll edit it later because that's the way that I roll.
yeah. I agree with you. I find it pure joyful to listen to. When I really need something to just kind of be in the background, it's been my go to for like about a month now.
Yeah.
So
And the full review is gonna go on the Fresh Buttered Popcorn blog
yeah,
later
we'll
this
put it
week.
up. Yeah, we'll put it up in the next couple days.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a really good band. I'm so glad you turned me on to them, and I look forward to seeing them evolve. Because I think that's what's, like you said, it's missing. I think they have the means to evolve because they have the musicianship. So I think they can find themselves a little bit more deeply in what they're doing. In terms of you know expanding their horizons and kind of bringing it to the 21st century a little bit too.
I don't know if it has to be 21st or 20th century, whatever. I just want a little bit more variety, but seeing someone doubling down that much to get that 90s sound, I was a happy cat. I'm that type of dude that when I see you listen to this, we recommend this, I'll check 4 of those options to see if anything clicks. And this one, I was like, wow, that's really cool. And that's normally my refined process of finding music. The other one is going to Bandcamp and opening like 40 tabs and just listening to 2 tracks a piece of different bands until I find something that I go like, hey, that's cool.
Mhm.
Hey, Nicole, how you doing? We're having tea, we're chatting, we're talking about music, but beyond music. By the way, that yeah, I would love to get Lost Satellite on the Go Indie Now channel. So, guys, if you see this and you want to get interviewed by Mr. Compton, drop a line to him. That would be quicker. But if it's easier to me, I'll happily connect you guys. So, let's switch topics to Go Indie Now.
All right.
Hmm. Joe, how long have you been doing Go Indie Now?
Officially 5 years.
Okay.
Unofficially 7 or 8. But it started kind of haphazardly. It didn't have a name for a little bit. I was just doing stuff to that was along the lines of Go Indie Now kind of idea. And then I had one show that it started out with, in which you were involved with that early on, and you did a lot of music reviews for it, and we had an interview and everything, and so I didn't really call it like the network that it is now. It was more just that show, and then we started doing discussion panels and things like that, and it kind of evolved. So programming wise, this will be my 5th fall programming session.
So what does fall programming look like? What's in store right now?
Sure. Yeah. We've got This Week in Indies, which is the Stallworth show that's on every Sunday at noon Eastern, and that is basically my answer to like Meet the Press. It's kind of bringing 5 people on to talk about independent artistry and the newsworthiness of it, if there's any news about it. If not, then we talk about the art itself and creating the art or living with the art, or business static of the art, or however you want to phrase it. But it's just the 5 people getting together talking for about an hour. Within that, we have CL Cannon, who's been with me from the beginning as well, who does the Indie Connection, which is this little gem of a segment where she takes a popular book or trope and creates and shows you 5 indie books that are like it. And so we do that. And then the last 5 minutes, I give to somebody on the panel to talk about their personal art, whether they read or they show us a trailer or they talk about it. And yeah, so we have that. And then Mondays, we're live as well. So we have Julia Allen doing her 3rd season of In Progress, which is a show where she talks to an artist about being in progress with their work, certain elements, certain aspects of progress that goes along with who we are and what we do. Should do that the first Monday. Then the second Monday, we have a brand new show, which is Miss Vanessa Junta is hosting, and she does, she's calling it A Conversation and a Cocktail. And it's basically her shooting the shit with artists that she knows about their lives and what they do and how they do it. And then I'm bringing back 21 Grams, which is a show that I actually shot a network and shopped with JD, which is basically me asking a bunch of questions of artists and them answering them. And we talk more about the depth of the artistry, the peripheral, the expansive, philosophies and all the things about art that we really don't get to talk about very often. That people assume we're deep. Some of us are so, and some of us aren't. But yeah, that is what is going on. And then I have another couple new shows. Ron Lahr is doing a new show called Mean Reviews, No Stars Given, and that's where he's going to take a couple books, and that is exactly where it comes from, Andy. Yeah, that's exactly where the title comes from. And yeah, Ron Lahr is going to take a couple books, and he's going to show you in a sarcastic and fun manner how you can have fun with yourselves as artists a little bit, and review a couple books in the process and give them some tough love, if not love. And
oh Lord, and
yeah.
Ron has 0 filters.
And so yeah, he's gonna do that, and that's a new show. And then Madeline Dale's doing a show that's all about the character. She's gonna talk to an author about their characters, and so we're gonna have, it's called Character Driven, and she's going to take a character with an author and go through go beyond the artistry that has been created for that character, because we all in the background create character sheets and things like that. So she's going to examine that aspect of it. And then we have late night news will be back this for the second Friday of every month. That's myself, Katie Solitis, and Vanessa Chunta, and we go over. It's a news show, so it's just like like the news, like the 10 o'clock news.
Yeah.
And
what more bad news do you have for indies this year?
Oh
Lord!
Actually, it's been good news lately, but I mean, it depends on where you stand. We have the infighting between the big five going on right now, which is very interesting. And the trial that never can get off the ground and starts and stops because the federal government's involved, but which is great. It's high drama at its best and stupidity at its best. But and I'm sure we'll be talking a lot about how that impacts indies and whatever. But there's other stuff going on out there. But and then we have a town hall show where we're going to allow the audience to take over the show and basically ask questions of the guests on certain topics. The first one being in September with Madeline Dale, where she's going to host a romance panel talking about how people fall in love. So that should be an interesting, and how as writers do we convey that properly. So
interesting.
Or dirtily, dirtily is not a word, but I just created it. Thank you very much.
I'm sure Rebecca has used it at least twice.
But so that's and then we have the second season of Words That Kill by Miss Anita Stewart, which is her talking to horror folks about horror shit, and it's fucking awesome. It's a great show. And we have several episodes that I really, really love out there. I mean, I love all the stuff we do, but that show has been a very, very happy surprise, and I'm very, very proud of all the work she's done for that. So it's very cool. So,
there's a dedicated crew with a lot of love, and it shows.
I'm very lucky. I am very, very lucky, and and along the lines of reviews and stuff like that, Mr. JD Estrada will always be around doing some more reviews for us. We've been talking about him doing some more video game and music reviews, and
yes,
maybe we'll put those out on video at some point too. So
you're gonna get some of those. I'm not gonna put myself in the corner or anything. Right now, writing in the blog is just more feasible and more doable than me trying to look presentable. Look at this. At least I'm color coordinated. But beyond that,
I'm real excited about everything we're doing. We're gonna have something brand new nearly almost every day from September 4th on, which is when the fall season starts, till the end of December. And of course, you'll see Mr. Estrada at the end of December for the final show of the season. Well, actually, I guess technically the New Year's Eve show would be the final show of the season, but for programming wise, we're going to do This Year in Indies again. Mr. J. Straw is going to join me again, and that's where we unveil our favorites of the year. So,
and there's been plenty of good things. I've also been reading a lot of Spanish stuff because I connected with a bunch of authors over at the Puerto Rico ComicCon. Obviously, with Tazas y Portadas, I pick up a book here and there, and I'm not going to say it's going to be half my TBR, but it's going to be a significant amount of my TBR that is in Spanish, which is unheard of when it comes to me, which is a cool thing. Quick question. I don't know if their slots still open, but if people want to participate in Go Indie Now, how would they go about it? Because people say, "Oh, how did you get on the show?" And I'm like, I just filled the form and I send the link, and then people are like marveled that it is so easy, and it is easy.
It is. It is actually very, very easy. You just have to be aware. But it's the best way to do it is to join our Facebook group, which is the Go Indie Now Think Tank, and to join that group, then that's where I put all the original casting calls. So whenever I decide to start casting for a show or asking people to be on a show, that's where I start with. That group gets carte blanche to start with, and I'll reach out to a few people too, here and there, but that is where it starts, and then you can sign up. There are a couple open slots for a couple things going on right now. Most of it is full, but we'll be back in January going again. So I mean, you know, the best way to make yourself visible is there. So that if I have people drop out and stuff like that, I do have alternate slots that people can fill up as well. So, which happens. It happens every year and maybe even almost every week. But
because life happens.
Life happens. Yeah, it is what it is. But
by the way, what are you having? Just water?
No, I'm drinking my instant organic coffee, which I love. So.
No, mine it's from Harney and Sons, and it's a cherry blossom blend.
I almost went with the Tazo Awake English breakfast, but then I was like, that's a little too much, a little too awake for me at this point.
So instead of that, I'm just gonna have instant coffee.
Yeah, that doesn't do anything for me. At this point, I'm numb to the caffeinated idea of it. I mean, I'm surprised when my blood does. I'm surprised when I get a physical, which I do now very regularly every year because I'm old. I'm surprised
that happened, Randy.
My blood alcohol content isn't caffeinated. So,
well, I drink enough tea, but I'm drinking lighter and more soothing teas lately.
So yeah, but yeah, that's the best way to do it. And I was going to mention, I guess it's not that exclusive. I've probably talked about it before, but certain somebody here who hasn't been to Puerto Rico is going next year. So as long as I can get a reasonable flight and room, I think I'm definitely planning on being there. So.
Do it with time, my friend. Things in Puerto Rico are interesting lately.
We'll see how the winter holds up too, because storms are brewing, and we'll see if we run into another delay of life functioning again.
We'll see. At least the attitude of people right now is that we're gonna make it work no matter what.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I do have some ideas that I will be bouncing around with you for the Puerto Rico Comic-Con. I would love for you to meet a lot of my indie author friends.
I told you the one thing I really, really wanted to do when I go there. So
what do you want? Say it.
To visit Taza de Importantes. So.
Tazas Importadas. Come on.
Taza Importantes.
Yeah, they actually have a new. They're opening up a new shop. It's supposed to be bigger. I haven't seen it because they haven't opened it up, but they're doing the move. It's still on the west part of the island, so it is a trek to get there from the metro area. It is a little less than 2 hours, because what is a road trip for me is a commute for other people.
Yeah.
It's crazy. People, oh yeah, that's a short drive. It's like 4 or 5 hours, and I'm like, dude, that's a road trip. It's like, no. A road trip is 18 hours straight, and I'm like, yeah, you just down 2 5-hour energies and keep going, and I'm like, no, man, no. I just get National Lampoon vibes all around, and I'm like, I don't think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I Katie Stolitis and I made a road trip in October to visit somebody in the chat, and that was 4 or 5 hour drive. So I consider that a road trip.
For me, that's a full on road trip. And they also did stop by Atlanta and said hello. And
I was there already, but yeah.
We had tacos,
but
margaritas.
I say that came out wrong. I will. I'm always there for JD. If I'm in Atlanta, I'm definitely going to see my brother from another mother. But
for sure,
I was there for a purpose. So,
are you coming in October for Multiverse again?
I am. Yeah, I'm doing panels this year. So,
oh wow.
Yeah, I got my panel schedule, and so I'm doing. They needed some screenwriting stuff, so I'm doing a lot of screenwriting stuff for them this year. So that was something that they were missing. So, ooh, yeah.
Yes, you have to go. I went last July. The first trip that I took after not after, during we're still in the pandemic.
Yeah.
Let's be reasonable and real. But we went to Puerto Rico in July last year, and then my oldest brother was kind enough to give me a lift all the way across the island to go and
Nice.
visit. Had coffee, had sandwich, had a great time, left some books. There are still some books available that are actually signed and uniquely dedicated. And people say, what does that mean? And literally I took about 50 books or something like that. And each dedication was different, even from one book to another. I'm like, nah, dude, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this right. And it took me about an hour, not that, because obviously anyone who's bought a book of mine and has had it signed knows that I'm not brief. I'm not brief in anything. Sometimes when people are amazed that I can, by the way, that link takes you straight to my books in Tazas y Portadas. People are amazed that I can write a succinct poem in like 8 lines because they know me and they know that I talk a lot. And that's always an issue. But I went over there, super cozy locale. People that were there visiting, unrelated, super nice. The staff was extremely friendly. Big fan of Liz and her husband. They had a blast at the Puerto Rico ComicCon, so you're gonna see them. And hello, Lauren. By the way, it's something I can mention also. Lauren was the winner of a giveaway that I did over on SD Houston's channel. And yes, I'm going to connect this, and this is going to be a mishmash, and it's going to be a gumbo and whatever. That video, I'll look it up. But if you leave a comment from here until Sunday, there's going to be a second giveaway where I'm going to give away either 1 or 2 ebooks. Depends on what my blood sugar level feels like on Sunday. But yeah, that was a fun chat. So you go to Puerto Rico Comic-Con, you're gonna meet Liz, and you're gonna meet a ton of people. And you're gonna see why it's such a special event, because people stateside are super spoiled. They have events every month. Puerto Rico, that's not the case. It's getting more active, by the way, but it's still not the case. It's not like every month there's like a huge con. And by the way, yes, Lauren actually picked up 2020.
Nice.
She picked up Dark Strands, and I forget the third one. I sent it, but I forget. I think, yeah, Only Human. Hey, I'm Only Human. I forgot. So yeah, you're gonna meet a lot of people. You're gonna get some good food. We're gonna Uber you all around the place so that you can enjoy,
Yeah,
the wonderful delight.
I'm really excited. Yeah, maybe Kevin Smith will come back.
I think he might, because he actually had issues this year. He had a delay, etc., and he wasn't able to make it on Saturday, and he made it only on Sunday. So he might come back, and everyone was just, he had a blast, and it shows. And everyone that went to him was also super pumped up.
Nice.
Hey,
all right,
guys, we loved it, and the drums is people take for granted drums so often, specifically in Latin rock. This is not a Latin rock album, but it's something that people get wrong so often, and there's an art to that. So thank you, Rene.
There's an incredible intro. I'm trying to think of the song. There's one that has an incredible drum intro that I was like, wow, that's pretty amazing.
I think it's the title track. I'm looking for it so I don't embarrass myself, because I'm way too good at embarrassing myself, dude.
Well, you didn't, I did, so you don't have to worry about it. So
come on, I'll look it up a second, because I'm pretty sure it that's where I got the vibes for Latter-day Silverchair.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, no, I got the wrong album. So yeah, the way we feel, the way we feel,
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
the drum in that track, damn. And the sound mixing in general. So anyone who worked
Yeah.
on that album, good album.
It sounds impeccable. I mean, it's really well designed.
Mm.
It doesn't have too many flaws in there.
No, no, no.
The flaws come with the just the inherent vibe of the album. But
Yeah.
musician wise, that's why I say it. That's why I said
Hey,
I
they got
really
the
look
cuts.
forward to what they're doing later, because I think as musicians they'll grow, and because they have the tailored musicianship that they have, they're going to produce something that I'm probably going to really really love, that
It,
will become part of like my top ever.
yeah, it's a short album, but to me, it sounds. I'll tell you what it sounds like. It sounds like a good band that had a good run. They kind of burned themselves out, had two kind of off albums, and then they had a comeback album or a comeback EP where they came back with fresh. That's what it feels like, which is weird because it's their debut.
Yeah.
But you can get there's like a lot of it behind the music. That's why I like it, and that's why I wanted to review it. So thank you again for stopping by. Tell the guys kudos to them. The review will go up.
Yeah, come talk to me. Tell them to come talk to me. I'd love to talk to them. So.
Yeah, we're all about getting music out, and my playlist of indie music, I keep sharing it so that people can find new music, because why stop? There's so much good music out there. um Pivot, where did the idea for Go Indie Now come from?
So I had given up being an artist for about 2 or 3 years. I had just spent 18 months in hell, otherwise known as Hollywood, and I really was soured by the experience that I had there, and so I quit being an artist. I said, you know what, fuck being an artist. I'm just gonna go ahead and be a normal person, right? I mean, I'm smart enough. I can probably find some joy in that. Maybe find some creativity in what I do, whatever I do, and satisfy the creative energy that boils inside of me since I was 1 years old. But I quit, and then I was in Denver on just a trip to see a friend get married, and we started reminiscing about when we were making films together, and that energy just kind of seeped right through me. And my ex-wife saw that, and she said, well, who is this person? I've never met this person. And because she knew me right after, about 4 or 5 months after I had quit, and so she had never met the creative Joe Compton. And so I said, yeah, I've done a bunch of stuff. I made some films. I mean, she saw the movie that I made and everything, so she knew that. But she just didn't know my passion for it, and how I was born to be an artist. And I was, and I know that now. I was born to be an artist, and so I had this old manuscript, amongst the killing, which you held up, and I had actually had a chance to get it traditionally published in a roundabout way. It actually turned out to be kind of a setup. They were looking for stories to make into TV movies, and they wanted to take my novel and turn it into a TV movie, and I walked away from the deal. Long story short, and so I gave her that, and she found this way to kind of get me back into it, and so I will always be grateful for that, in that respect of our relationship. And yeah, and then I decided to publish it myself, because at the time I didn't want to go through the whole agent stuff that I had been through before and all that, because that was a nightmare as well. And I got blacklisted for a while from the publishing industry for being difficult, because I didn't want to make my novel into a TV movie, whatever. But so it was about it was the turn of, it was 2008, 9, turn of the, the turn of the screw where, self-publishing was becoming independent publishing, and it was, starting to become something with Kindle and everything like that. And so I put out my own book. And in doing so, I came across the greatest thing that I think has ever happened to me and that was finding the indie author community. I gravitated to one specific group on Facebook, and they took me in like they had known me for 25 years. And I'd never experienced that in artistry before. Most of the artistry I've experienced has been always, competitive.
Yeah.
And, and the people that I gravitated toward weren't that. And so we were a very small niche group. This was a big, larger group. And it seemed like the entire community was finding that this was the energy that we all had. And so me selfishly knowing that I had this little group of musicians, music people, because I was in the music business for a little bit, and I have so many friends who do music, and I had friends in the filmmaking industry, and I said, and they don't publish anything. They're not they're not book artists, so they weren't in these groups. And I said, these groups are awesome. I'd love to see something like that come together. Basically, I wanted a place where all my friends could play. I wanted to have a playground where filmmakers and musicians and authors could be together, and we could enjoy what I was experiencing all together. And what it became was something completely different. It grew a life of its own. It turned into this opportunity to kind of do more things with it and make programs and shows and things of that nature. And that's how it all began. And like I said, it started with one show that was a son of a bitch to make. And I didn't learn my lesson there. I said, you know what? Instead of making the one show easier to make and making that
you made it bigger.
I need 3 or 4 more shows, basically. So I made 3 or 4 more shows, and that's, everything just kept growing and growing, and I kept making more shows, and then people started jumping on board, and people started making shows with me, and so that's where we're at, and it's grown to that. So.
Right. It's super cool. I remember that your novel, actually, they say that you're never a prophet in your own land. That applies for me. I don't get a ton of readers in most places. I do get more readers in Puerto Rico and stateside. I do get some. I actually have more readers in the UK than stateside, I think, but I would have to check numbers. And Canada. But I have people from like Nepal and Romania and Italy and little pockets of randomness, which I adore. And your book actually was, I don't know how much of a breakout hit, but in Germany.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What? That just goes to show. Some people are like, people aren't reading me. It's like, give it time, and eventually your audience will find you, even if it's elsewhere. But okay, so you were gonna get published. You had that whole snafu with the deal. You published it yourself, and then you landed on Three Furious Press.
Yeah.
Bex, she might still be in the chat. For those of you who don't know, Rebecca Jonesy and Isa McLaren. It's Monday. It's Monday.
Isa.
Love Isa. Three Furious Press is a well, I'm gonna have to bring Rebecca eventually to this. We haven't seen her live in way too long. She's way too much of a Spitfire to keep her under wraps like that. It's a small press. I know a bunch of the authors there. How has your experience been?
Outstanding. It's a beautiful, beautiful group. Rebecca and Isa have always. I'm a fan of Isa, and Isa is a fan of me because we share the commonality of being crime writers and the only really true crime writers on that press. So which is not the way that they want it. They want more, and I think they have gotten a couple more since then. But Isa and I always had that shared space because that was always neat, and we became fans of one another. So that really was pretty cool. But Rebecca was like a super fan of mine, and she asked if she could be a part of what I was doing, and knowing that, I mean, how can you say no to somebody who puts so much care and love into just talking about your stuff, And so, and that's what they're all about. They're all about really sharing the love of what they love. And I think you can't go wrong with that. And I think that's a winning combination. And so when they love something, they put all their energy into it, and it shows. And I've been very, very happy with that kind of love. I mean, it's tough love at times because I'm not easy to
The
work
cattle
with.
prod.
Yes, I'm not easy to work with. I run at my own pace. I Spitfire, so a lot of my stuff is very badly grammatically incorrect. And so I know it's a lot more work than they want to do, but they do it because they love it, and they love me, hopefully, enough to keep they keep asking me to do more stuff. So I'm and they want to do more of my stuff. So yeah, I think it's been great, and yeah, I've really enjoyed that process. I think it's with care and love, and I couldn't have asked for a better partner in that respect.
One thing before we get into Rebecca, I want to give thanks to Andrea. She was actually one of the beta readers who helped me with the translation of 2020. Her input was invaluable. She's super cool. I haven't been in touch. I suck. So beyond that, thank you so much. Thank you for dropping by. In terms of Rebecca and the love that she shows, first off, if you two share something, is that you guys are always firing on all cylinders and you guys don't stop.
Yeah.
Rebecca doesn't stop in terms of proofing and editing and just doing the jam. She's nonstop, and she's even more fueled by coffee than you.
Yeah.
That is insane. But she's like, oh, it's 11 o'clock. Let me get a pot of coffee. It's not like an instant coffee. Like, yeah, no.
Her and I have shared coffee at 1 a.m. So yes, I know. Yeah.
Here's actually a comment from YouTube. Okay, the small press. I don't think that you guys in that Three Furious tackles translations. In terms of moi, I'm an indie artist. I'm an indie author, indie artist. Screw it. I do double O bananas. I am the
yes,
bananas.
you are. People don't. For people who don't know JD, I'm gonna tell you right now, one of the best acoustic artists I know. He's just so talented, super talented. I love his acoustic music that he creates himself. It's so beautiful. It's amazing. He's an amazing artist at that. So,
Thank you.
And I wish more people. You always talk about how I don't say enough. You never say anything about your musicianship, and you should, because you're fucking amazing, dude.
I'm shy until I finally run up the courage and play. And the last time I played live is the first time I played live. Well, the second time. The first time I ever played live was at our wedding. The captain, my wife didn't know that I was going to play guitar, and suddenly I go like, "Give me a second." She's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I need a minute." And they bring out my electric guitar and then amp, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And then I played her a song. I am extremely shy when it comes to singing in public. It's something that I've gotten better. People always see me as an extroverted person and very outgoing and whatnot, and I am, but I am nervous. I have this nervous energy, and I in Peace, Love, and Mockery, I talk about emotional alchemy, and that applies to nerves as well. And if I'm nervous, I'm gonna get conversation, hence me being chatty, crack a joke because I'm half Cuban, half Puerto Rican, and the son of Marieta. And with music, it's just I'm very, very self-conscious, which is people. I did a live show over at the Poets Passage in Puerto Rico. It was a day where traffic was awful. Obviously, it was raining. There was no parking, and still some people made it. Which, if people don't know what that means to me, it does mean the world. My brother bought me a bottle of wine, so basically, I had like all my books and a playlist of what I was gonna do and the songs that I played. And I think there was just one song that I didn't have a mistake in, but that was like my first ever show. So for a first show, I don't think that was too bad.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. Going back in terms of the translation, I'm the one who does the translating. I had 2020 is my bilingual collection. It's English and Spanish. It's short stories, essays, and poetry in both languages with a bilingual poem that rhymes in the middle. I did the all English version, which is 2020, and I am working on this all Spanish version, which is 2020. I do that myself. It is time consuming. It is complicated, and I learned that I don't write Spanish. I write Puerto Rican. So a text translator can help me absolutely in my process. And I learned that you can use Google Translate and other text translators to speed up the process. That's and I do that for work often. And what I normally do is that I use a text translator and then I translate it below, and then I compare notes and see if there's anything that I have to adjust, and basically end up with something that's a combination of both things. That's my process. The process for this work, I go in depth in a video, in an hour-long video talking about this. Check my channel. Come on, don't make me look for the link. But basically, beyond just the translation, something that I do in advertising is called transcreation, and it's taking account cultural relevance. One thing is to translate the text. The other thing is to help it make sense. There are some things in short stories and essays that won't make sense to people that are not from Puerto Rico. Mm-hmm. And I had to adjust, and I had to change, and I had to tweak, and I had to give it a little bit more love. So no matter who reads it, they're going to get it. People who read Spanish and read it, it's like, this is Puerto Rico. If you don't get it, that's on you. You have to visit the island, preferably not during hurricane season. If you're visiting the island, I recommend end of October to January. Expensive? Yes. Beautiful? Beautiful. And temperatures are good. It's going to be hot. It's the tropics, but still. So yeah, we're talking about Three Furries and how you pivoted there. It's been great. Bex is great. And you met her because she knew Josh and Diana, right?
No, I met her. I met her because she found. It might have been. It was. I think it was for the CyberCon. She knew Heidi or somebody there, and she came aboard. And then she was just a reader at that point. She wasn't even writing yet.
And a voracious reader.
Yeah, and so then she saw me and Josh talking on a show, and she picked up Josh's books because we were talking about his stuff. And then Diana, she through osmosis found Diana and her stuff, and then gravitated towards my stuff, and then she read my book in literally 4 hours, and then I had 6 emails and 6 messages after, and we've been friends ever since, and really, really good friends. She's family to me. So
no, that's how it goes. I always say that eventually you'll find your tribe, and the thing is that with going now, it's just I've branched off and I found different people on the show, and from that people you connect to other people in other groups and other subgroups.
Yeah, I'm not always in my own bubble either. So I have other groups that I've branched off to too. But yeah,
but it's always interesting because people go like, this isn't working, etc. It's like if something's not working, if someone's not paying attention, if someone doesn't care, your energy is currency.
Yeah,
you're wasting your currency. Every time that I've invested every second that I've invested in Go Indie now, and Joe has been a wonderful investment. It hasn't been squandered. It hasn't been wasted. I could riff off a long list of names, but I don't dare do that because I know that I'm going to forget someone, and then I'm going to go like, oh, I have to do an apology video and stuff like that. The list is long of people. The list of talented people is also extremely long. I always encourage people. What feeling is that, Jonathan? You got to be more specific because we're riffing it, buddy. There are many feelings that we share. I always recommend people to do live shows, to get on, just chat with people and just connect, because you don't know what live friend is going to be there.
Yep.
And some people won't come around. That's the main thing, is that some people won't come around. And I'm not going to name names, but I have people that I've never met in my life. Absolutely. They've met me because of my books and my work. We've connected. They're dear friends. They mail me stuff. I mail them stuff. These are people that genuinely care and that are in it for the long run. These are people that I didn't know, that I met because I decided one day that it would be a good idea to write a book. And then there's other people that I've known all my life that could care less about what I do. It's like, oh yeah, they're good. Oh, that's so sweet. That's so sweet. He wrote a book. And there's going to be people that you win over along the way. There's going to be people that you lose along the way.
Yep.
And again, yeah, that's all life.
Yep. It really is.
I know the feeling. I wanted to start doing these chats because I did want to bring. I wanted the chance to chat with some of my favorite people. First off, second off, I wanted to share these wonderful people with more people. This is all about connecting. And third off, I wanted to branch, AuthorTube, Indie, Puerto Rico, BookTube, and whatever, because there are lovely people out there. There are lovely people that just come around and arrive, and they're there to stay.
I mean, I have something to say about that comment, but
about this one.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are too busy to reciprocate, and I can understand that. And some people say that they're too busy to reciprocate, and some people just don't care.
Yeah. For me, it's the energy I put into it is my energy. So I'm giving my energy to something, then I'm putting my energy into it. And so that's the reward for me. I don't care if people reciprocate. I never have been that guy. And I know people will say that's naive, that's whatever. But for me, I don't need validation or reciprocation, because I do what I do because I want to do it and I love doing it. And that's the energy that I'm always going to put behind everything that I do. And if I really love it, I mean, not everything I do. I mean, I do certain things to be societal and all that. But for the things that I really love and I'm passionate about, I put all my energy into it. And yeah, people will disappoint you, but and people will take advantage of you. But for me, I don't worry about any of that. That's not anything I can control. All I can control is putting the energy I put out there and what I do for it. And if somebody doesn't appreciate that or doesn't reciprocate it or doesn't acknowledge it, that's on them. That's their issue, not mine.
It's their loss.
Yeah, and in the same token, though, don't think I don't see it. And if I don't see it, I'm never going to approach. There's people I approach all the time because I love their energy and I love what they gave me. But there's also people I've only had on one time ever, or I have never shown. I have videos that I've never put out before just because it didn't feel right. It didn't go correctly. And that's just the way it works. You do this long enough, that's what's going to happen. And so those people are forgotten for me and gone. And I don't deal with them. I just let it go. I mean, you're going to have that in life. And I don't take it personal. I just do what I do because I love to do it. And that the only energy that I have to be concerned about is mine. So.
Yeah, no. And to me, I will never regret giving someone a shout out
Mhm.
or sharing someone's work or something like that. But if you see the diminishing response, because yeah, I'm not in it for. I don't give I don't give receipts with any favor or any shout out or any help I
Yeah.
give. But I am that type of person that I do value connection a lot.
Yeah.
And when I see people that don't care, or seem that they don't care or are too busy to care or something like that, that's why I gravitate to smaller channels. That's why I like to mix it up with so many indie books, because and also I know how hard it is to get a review, and my rule is simple: if I read it, I'm going to review it, and I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's self love, sometimes it's really tough love. Never never expect me to give you a 5-star review because I like you.
Yeah.
If you're cool with that, cool, I'll read your book. And some people are not cool with that. They just want someone to stroke their ego, and I get that. Sometimes you need that because sometimes it's rough, and tough,
Yeah.
and awful. But you're not gonna get that from me.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
And I'll give you a good example. A couple of years back, I almost dropped off the face of BookTube because I just felt like it was just a bad investment of energy. I felt that anything that I invested just felt like off, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to do this for a while or maybe ever again.
Mhm.
So nah. And
I
then
I learned my lesson too. I'm sorry. Keep going.
no.
Well, I was just gonna say I chased the dream a little bit before when we started to get some really good momentum here on YouTube, and I was hearing chatter about how YouTube was dying and people were getting serped, like views were getting serped, and algorithms were screwing people over and things like that. But there was alternatives, Twitch being one of them, and Facebook was about that time starting video. And now I just got to notice that LinkedIn is starting video, and so like all of these sites were starting, and I kind of abandoned YouTube with everybody else. I kind of went with the flow of everything, and in doing that, I forgot that I had built where I had come from and where I had built here, and I left those people in the dust because they're not the people that wanted to go over to Twitch. Twitch was chasing new people. Twitch was, and Facebook was chasing new people, and so I lost a lot of momentum. What I would have had for about a year and a half doing that, and I learned my lesson. And so wherever I'm comfortable is where I'm going to stay, and I'm not going to chase after something just because it's the newest thing or I hear things about other things. I'm going to rely on my gut and my experience. And, it's a lesson that I had to learn, and I'm glad I learned it. And it will never happen again because I've learned it. And people can say what they want about me. I mean, I get this all the time. People come up to me and go, "You know what you need to do? You know what this is? It would be cool if you
I
did
got a
this."
great idea. I got
You're
a
right,
great.
that too, yeah.
Ooh, that's
All
a
the
good.
time. I get that all the time, and that's great. I sit and I'll listen. And I go, yeah, that's really nice. That's really great. But honestly, uh, I'm happy doing what I'm doing. So and
As
wherever
long
it
as
goes is the road it's supposed to go on, and wherever it goes, the height it's supposed to go to. That's the height it's supposed to go to. I'm not going to force it. I'm not going to make it happen. I will work to the next level and work hard to get it to where I think it should be, and where I dream it to be, and where I vision it to be. And I will give everything I have to that. But if it doesn't work out, I can't be disappointed by that because I've given all my energy to it. And that is the reward I have to take. I have to take the life lessons that it gives me and everything that it has inside of me to make that happen. So
and again, it's all about connection for me. And when I say connection, I'm talking about fellow authors and also readers. I try to anyone who's kind enough to swing by my booth or buy a book or leave a review. I try to show them that it does matter, that I do care. Some people are above that.
yeah.
And I think those people are pooping from like their third vertebrae, and I think that's a very bad call. But that's them, and that's on them.
Do you also have the people who think that they know it better than you do, and whatever?
There's a bunch of people.
Here's my nose. Here's your ass. You know.
There's a bunch of things. There was a comment that I pulled up. I want to pull it up again. I have a hard time. I have a hard time like that, but
Yeah,
and
me too.
I do those reviews because if someone has something negative to say about my books, but it's constructive, I welcome it, and I've gotten constructive criticism, and I've taken it on board, and I think the best. I'm doing the whole Papa Bear, Mama Bear, Baby Bear approach to the Daydreams on the Sherbet Shore. I think the second volume, which I haven't released but I will release soon, is still it's first one was here, second one is here, third one I have a different approach that I'm going to be taking on, and I think it's gonna land, but. What I can say about each and every one of my projects, perfect, nah. But man, I give everything that I can for each project, and I give a lot of love to each book. Is there a typo here and there? Could be. Some are actually typoless, and I'm very proud of that because I'm doing it solo. Others could use some work, but I love them warts and all.
For me, that idea, the comment there about the heart,
you got a new follower, Joe.
Awesome, thanks, Jonathan. That's very nice of you. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you come and hang out with us. But yeah, with other people's work and stuff like that. So I do a lot of film stuff, and I'm the guy who mans all of that. So I have to watch a lot of films and then interview them. And sometimes the films are so terrible and I can't, I don't know what to say, but I've always subscribed to this philosophy. And this is a philosophy that I think works very well. And that is everything, no matter how bad it is, has something good about it. I've never met anything that is complete and utter shit. Like there's one little tiny thing. It could be the tiniest of things. Hey, maybe those are the coolest fonts in the titles. I don't know. But whatever it is, that's what I lead with. And kill them with kindness, right? Just you talk about the thing that you really loved about it first and foremost. And remember, and I always put myself in their shoes too. If I was to read this back, how would I perceive what I'm reading, And so I always write a review with that care in mind. The idea that this is a review of me as much as it is of anything else, because if I slander somebody and I go out there and just rip somebody apart, I'm opening myself to be ripped apart, and which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. I can take it. And I don't care if you do rip me apart. I can take that too. But why put that energy out there? Show that you can find positivity in something and put the positive aspect of it first. You can be critical. You can be, you can be, you can find a way to be nice about it, I guess. But you can't. But you have to. I think if you put the positive out there first, that's what people are going to gravitate towards. And I mean, yeah. We're artists, so even if I did it, and I do this all the time, I've had this actually happen to me where I put out this glowing review of this film I watched, and I had one little thing wrong with it. And guess what? That filmmaker talked to me about for 25 minutes. That one little thing that he saw. It was literally a sentence in the 1,500 word review I made. It was one sentence, and.
That's it. That's a topic for a full hour of that.
Yeah,
period.
Sure.
Reviewing books is not easy.
But that's how I view it. The energy, again, it's all about energy for me. And so putting positive energy behind it, I think is the only way to approach it.
For me, it's energy too, but I'm really all about keeping things honest, because I don't want people thinking that because there's someone that I care about and I love. I gave your book 4 stars. I didn't give it 5.
Yeah.
I've never given. I've reviewed.
We had a nice conversation about it. So
yeah.
In which you weren't the nicest person about it, but that's really awesome. I didn't have a problem with it. I thought you were very honest and very earnest about it, and I appreciate it.
And I want the same. I want the same for me. I put out what I would like to receive. And if someone reads my book and they give me 5 stars and they expect 5 stars in return, it's like, that's not how it works. Again, I like to keep it honest, and the people that I really tout, I want people to know that they're extremely special.
But you also have a style in which you give love to that person by reviewing their stuff, and you do point out positive aspects of things. In every negative review I've ever read of yours, even though it's honest and earnest, you do have an aspect in which you do create that honest energy through positivity, and that's why people love it.
I try. I've given a 1-star review to someone who sent me a book, and it's. And okay, you want me to give you a 1-star review? Here's what you do. You take a book, write it in a language, put it in a text translator, take whatever it spit out, put it in a book, publish it, and then have me read it. That's what happened. And it got to the point where just reading that book, I've had to do that before. And it took me back to college when I was an English language mentor. And when I would get to that point in essay or a project, I would put a hard line, and I would say, I read until here. See me at this hour or whatever, and 0. And then they would come and say, what happened? It's like, okay, let's be honest. Did you use a text translator? And they're like, yes. And I'm like, that's the problem. Yeah. You need to write this. I'm here to help you write this. Even if you write it poorly, I'm here to help you get better. But if you use this, you're not getting the point, and I can't understand what you're saying. So basically, I have to read this sentence that makes no sense in English, back translate it literally to Spanish to kind of understand where you were going. And I'm like, dude, it's just too much.
My favorite two 1-star reviews of all time are, for one was for The Godfather, in which the person wrote, I read this book and neither did I find God or my father in it. That is an awesome 1-star review. And then, of course, the most famous 1-star review of all time, which is, it's a 2-word review, shit sandwich, which is a reference to This Is Spinal Tap for people who don't know. But
and I love Spinal Tap. And by the way, and I also
and then their comment, which is the greatest thing that I've ever seen, was them laughing and going, they didn't print that. They can't print that.
No, but and I also like to keep it honest, and I also like to read classics just to give me perspective, but also keep things honest, because some things, this is an American classic, it's revered, and I'm like, don't care.
Yeah.
Catcher in the Rye, 3 stars. It's a great mood piece. It's a great character exploration. Didn't connect with me for this, and that. Maybe I read it at the wrong time. Maybe I'm the wrong person to read it, but I want to have an opinion and to be honest about it. Yeah. And they were talking about 5 stars and 4-star ratings. For me, if I would gift a book, rather than quality, etc., it's like, what did the book set out to do? And what was my reaction, and would I give someone this book? If you get these 2 things, you're going to get 5 stars from me, even if the book is not perfect. Because again, I'm not looking for grammatically perfect things. But I've read memoirs that I've given 5 stars because I read it. A fellow author from Puerto Rico. Her name is Sandra M. Colorado. She's wonderful. She calls me her cybernetic son. I didn't give it 5 stars because she calls me her cybernetic son. I read it because I read it, and I was like, if a woman that is having struggles to try to conceive, to have a child, reads this book, or someone who is in the adoption process reads this book, it can change their life for the better. Yeah. I'm like, this is an important book beyond quality of writing, etc. The writing is good, memorable stories and whatnot, but it has an emotional punch. It just won gold at the International Latino Book Awards. I'm super proud of her and super happy for her. if a book can achieve that, and I go like, man, if I know someone in that who's struggling, I would give them this book. That to me is a 5-star book. Is it a book that completely changed my life? No, but I'm mature enough to read it objectively and go like, shit, this can help someone. And I think that has more weight than people give it to. It's not going to get a TV adaptation, but you're not looking for that. We can keep on going on tangents, and but I have to have dinner, and so not you because you're on the West Coast. So as you can see, this is not polished. If you want to see the questions that I had written down for Joe, these are the questions that I written. This is all off the top of my head. This is all conversation. This is what you're going to see every time that I decide to do this. Next time I'm going to be doing this, lo voy a hacer en español, because my intention is to have English and Spanish, also have more Spanish content on the channel. Awesome. Will it kill me in the algorithm? Probably, but everything kills me in the algorithm. Fuck it. Fuck. If a fuck will demonetize me, and I'm nowhere near monetization. So I'll worry about that when I get there. For now, Joe, where can people find you?
Sure. Yeah. Well, first off and foremost, thank you for making me the inaugural guest of your show. I'm very honored and humbled to be here, and thank you for the wonderful conversation as always. Go Indie Now is on youtube.com/Go Indie Now. We're on Facebook is facebook.com/Go Indie Now, Instagram Go Indie Now, TikTok Go Indie Now. Actually, TikTok, I just changed it because people were, every time I would comment, people go, why are you telling me to go and die now? Because it was all together. So people were going, go and die now, which is funny, but yeah. So I actually put little, what do you call those?
The caps.
Yeah, no, I took
the dashes.
Dashes, yeah, thank you. And put those in there so that people didn't confuse what I was trying to say. And so that's on TikTok, and then on Twitter I'm Joe Dream 73
because he's dreamy.
Well, because Go Indie Now wanted $6,000 for me to have that handle on Twitter, and I told them to go fuck themselves. But if you want to friend me on Facebook, Joe Compton, and my book is Amongst the Killing and We the Moral Majority, and I'll be making movies again very soon, so I'm really excited about that as well. So I'm excited about everything we're doing. We start live programming again on September 4th on Go Indie Now, which is This Week in Indies, which is at noon on Sundays, every Sunday going till December. We'll be live, and one of those will actually be live from Atlanta, so that'll be fun too. But so go check us out, and then you'll be able to get the full schedule of what we're doing and how we're doing it and everything like that. So
awesome. And I am JD Estrada. I am a Puerto Rican author who is writing from Atlanta. I wanted to see the real life season premiere of The Walking Dead. Apparently I didn't know the pandemic was coming, but I got it. So cool. I'm the author of 19 published books. That includes poetry, it includes nonfiction, it includes urban fantasy, it includes middle grade fantasy, it includes a bilingual collection that has short stories, essays, and poetry, and A Partridge in a Pear Tree. There's more to come, and there's actually a lot of Spanish to come. The next show, the title is going to be in Spanish just to not throw you off, but anyone who's watching this, know that the next show that I do with Chatty Time, it's gonna be in Spanish. Look for me, JD Estrada Writer. Look at that handle. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, here on the YouTubes. I do have a blog. The link is down below. It's long. Just come on, a little bit of effort. If you like this, hit the like and subscribe button, and click the bell for notifications. Is that's how you're supposed to do it with a silky voice? Like,
yeah, that's exactly. Nice and sultry.
No, but thanks for everyone who tuned in. I hope you enjoyed this honest chat. And until next, we enjoy tea. Dude, have a good one. Be kind to someone. Cheers, Mama Estrada. Carajo.
Cheers.
Until next time, peace, love, and Maki rolls.